Hello and welcome again to Esiwakago YouTube channel. This is where we inspire, we inform, and we also encourage people. On our today's video, I'm gonna be narrating my own story whereby my own blood brought a con guy whom he was working closely with to come and con me. And well, they ended up conning me 100K Kenya shillings, and that is before I relocated to America. So welcome, and let me narrate my story. Welcome again, and this is a story. I know you have seen so many people coming up and talking about being conned by their own relatives or their pastors or someone who was very much trusted by them. My story is not a different story, but it's very similar to what you have heard before. So I had this cousin of mine whom we grew up together. As a matter of fact, we grew up together because wherever they were living, their city, that is in the Nyeri town city, I used to visit them every time the school closes, and I really liked their place because we would eat well. So I would appreciate every moment that I would go there. So this is someone who was ahead of me with like 2 years, but we grew up together as a brother, as a cousin. So here comes my story. As you all know that when you complete high school or when you complete the first steps of education, kind of like people get lost and you don't get to visit each other as frequently as you used to be. In my case, I went to Nairobi to hustle and he remained in Nyeri town. And one of these fine days, I happened to not be able to sustain my life in Nairobi, and I had to move back to Nyeri town where I would be operating a milk shop and also a restaurant, hotel, a small hotel. One day, this guy, remember this is someone I count as a brother, even more than a brother, he calls me and asks me of my whereabouts. And by coincidence, or maybe he knew, I told him I'm actually in the Nyeri vicinity. So he was like, where are you? Just tell me, I'm gonna come. And me, I'm telling my brother where I am, so there is no problem. By now, I was pregnant with my second baby, and I was operating this restaurant. It is also a milk shop, and it was also a little or a small kind of shop. When I say kind of shop, I mean I was selling bread, nothing more, and milk. So this guy comes, and I was in the outskirts of Nyeri town. This guy's within no time, he was there. And since he was known with not telling the truth all the time, when he told me he gonna come, I wasn't even expecting him because he might not show up. Fast forward, this guy arrives around 3 p.m. and I am here with my younger son, and I welcome him. By this time he came alone. He did not come with anybody. He comes, I welcome him, we talk, and then he tells me tomorrow I might pass by here. And the following day he did, sure, with another guy who was a friend. And the guy was introduced to me, and we went inside the restaurant that I was operating, and we sit down and we now sharing some drinks. And when I say drinks, I mean not the adult drinks, the regular tea and some soda or juice. In the midst of talking, he will now introduce me to something better than what I know. And he tells me this guy of his, together with him, they have a deal. And guys, never ever think that because a person was conned, they are foolish. Never think they are stupid. These people who con people, they use so many other powers that you don't know about. They go for them in TZ, Tanzania. They go for this witchcraft. So I am here listening to this brother of mine, stroke cousin, and another guy that I don't know. So they have a language, they are very sweet. You cannot ever stop to listen to them. So they have a deal, because they are working with someone who works at where the Kenyan money is printed. My friend, I know you know and you have heard of these stories, not once, not twice. There is always a fool a day that is conned, a fool. So mine was very easy. They know the process of making this money. They have this raw money, but this raw money usually requires legit. No, this raw money requires already printed money, legit, because this raw money they have, it is still in process. That whenever you will hear that, run for your dear life. The process is what draws the money that you have, and that is where the conmanship happens. So they have this money, but this money cannot become until it is piled up with the real money. And they have like 100K in this money. And if we can get like 100K, they can also go find another 100K and the other that guy 100K. This 100K fake is gonna be multiplied. It's gonna be, I don't know, made into a lot of money, and then we're gonna divide among ourselves. I was in the process of green card. I had already been selected, and I would not mind getting this green card money for process. My friend, I was so wrong. And one thing that I have learned in life, reduce the love of money. No matter how much money you have in life, never ever let money get to control you, because the minute you let money excitement to get here, you have lost it all. So now I'm supposed to come up with 100K. They're supposed to go get 100K, and they have this money, and there is a chemical that is supposed to be mixed, and this chemical requires total darkness in the house, because it's not supposed to, I think the chemical is not supposed to smell air. I'm giving this story because I saw someone, a pastor, who went to one of these Kikuyu TV stations, and she narrated, she's a pastor, the same way I was lied to, conned, is the same way she was conned. She was conned by a brother, I was conned by a brother. So now I don't have this money, and they are very wise, because they will never ever let you send them money through M-Pesa. Remember, this is my brother, so I have full trust of whatever he is saying, and I know even if it was something bad, there is no way he would go bring a stranger to come and drain me or con me. I trust him 100%. I was wrong. I was totally wrong. So they tried to show me right on the table as they were taking the tea, they would try to show me how this money gonna become real. And they made a 100 shilling note from the fake one. I don't know how, but they only told me, go get a new 100, go get a 100 note from the counter. Of course, I was selling, so I went and got it. Then they come and attach it. I don't know what they did. They do some magic there, and then the other 100 was real. And then they give me the 100, and they told me, go buy something if you want to believe that this is a real story. This is something legit. This is not something that we are doing that gonna make you worry. It shouldn't worry you. In fact, you should be very happy that I'm giving you an opportunity to get more money. Who doesn't love money? Who doesn't like getting more money? Who wouldn't want a money multiplication issue, you know? Hey. I went out, I bought with the note, and it was legit. I remember the shopkeeper trying to look through, and it was legit. So they told me that they use a certain chemical. That chemical they had is not enough. They need to go get more chemical at Ruaraka. Ruaraka, there is someone who sells them the chemical that helps to fully process the money. And me as a fool, like the fool I was, I am believing every single story. So they went, and I was supposed to be left looking for money. And when they came the following day, they came with a black bag that was supposed to have the chemical and their money. Now the money, the fake money. In fact, they came with their money, which wasn't enough. I think it was like 60K. I don't know where they got it from. And I don't know if it was legit or it wasn't. So they came, and I was supposed to have mine. I didn't have enough money. I think I only have like 10K or something. Imagine this dude will make me to, he will he was ordering me to what to do and how to do it, and I would take instructions. That is what I told you. These people, they got powers that they have something like dark powers that they use, and you're gonna obey every single thing that they're gonna tell you to do, with or without knowing, but you don't have power to say no. So here comes the story. He will order me to call all his sisters and brothers and ask them to lend me money, because he knows if he calls them, they know the business he does. But bad enough, they hadn't told anyone the business the guy was doing. They knew he was calling people, but they couldn't share it with people. So we didn't know, we as the rest of the cousins. I called the first one. She told me, the money I have, I did have shopping for the month for the groceries. The rest I will do on this date. If you can return it on this date, I'll be fine. And she sent me 5,000. I called my uncle. My uncle sent me 5,000. I called who else? I called my cousin's husband. He sent me 5,000. And I need to, one day I need to send something to my cousin's husband, because he went through a lot over that. So they sent me like 15,000. And now this 15,000 is in M-Pesa. These guys cannot let me transfer, my own cousin, he cannot let me transfer the funds through M-Pesa because he doesn't want traces. As stupid as I was, I went to Nyeri city town, and I withdrew the cash and I gave it to him. And this cash we will gonna come home and try to they're gonna make it process the other bunch of notes. So this one is attached together, and then they have this chemical, and it is at all this is being done at the behind of my business, which was my living area. It was a living room and my bedroom, of course divided with a curtain, and now my kitchen. So all lights off, because this chemical doesn't like light. This chemical with light, they don't mix. If it mixes with light, kaboom, all will be gone. Lights off, close doors, and then here is the chemical. They are doing this because they don't want you to see it's a chemical. It's not a chemical, it's some sort of blinding you. So lights off, and then they ask me for a basin, and then they are mixing this whatever. But midway, there is something that they will do. This guy, my cousin, did something. I don't know what he did with the bulb, but the bulb just crashed, like a busted. So they said, you know, now because it has this chemical has now faced the light, and remember the lights were off, but they said, I don't know what he acted like he was looking for something, and he needed to turn on the light. Maybe there is a chemical that reacts with light, I don't know, but this is the trick they do. The same way a pastor will lie to you, they wash you with a certain chemistry chemical, and it becomes like blood, you know. So the bulb pops out, and now they are like, oh my God, we have messed it. Now it is messed up. And the way it was so much money, now all the money that you gave us yesterday is gone. We are so sorry, but there is a way of redeeming it. The way they milk you and you cannot say anything, it's wanting. So the first chemical is gone. Now we need to go buy another chemical with another money so that we can come and bail ourselves out. My friend, this song continued and continued and continued, and every time, the third time, we went into a hotel in Mweki. Now we are not even in Nyeri. We now took ourselves to Nairobi to be close to Ruaraka so that we can finish this deal fast. Remember, all this time, I am even selling now my own business stuff. And also, I'm not even operating the business anymore. I'm following them like a goat. Like a goat everywhere. If they tell me let us meet in Nairobi, I will meet them there. And the reason as to why we went to Mweki is because we couldn't find my cousin. My cousin fled to Nairobi because he was kind of like when I gave him the money, he fled to Nairobi. Now the guy whom he brought with is now the one who I'm dealing with, and I'm calling him. I can't even remember his name. May he rest in peace. If he died or if he's alive, I don't want to know. The guy is kind of acting like the redeeming power here, but he's only playing safe, and they are communicating with my cousin, but now he's kind of acting like he also don't know where my cousin is. So we planned a trip to Nairobi. We went to Nairobi, Mweki, and then we rented a hotel. And in this hotel, this is where we're gonna now do the third deal. 2 deals have already backfired. We're gonna do the third deal. And I think by then I have already even called the father of my kids and asked him to send me money urgently, and he did. And he did. So this man is the one we're gonna be using in Mweki. Remember, I'm in Nairobi, he's in Nairobi, but I can't let him know I'm there because we have a very important deal to accomplish. At Mweki, we are in a hotel, a lodging, Kaida, and we're gonna be making this magic here. So these guys, they are they are very tricky. They trick you in a way that afterwards you will sit back and ask yourself, how foolish was I? So the chemical is now here. He went to meet someone outside the hotel. Remember, I have my baby and I'm pregnant. Guy, some people don't have sympathy. All this time I'm pregnant and have a baby who is less than 3 years that I'm carrying. I'm carrying the baby everywhere we go. So he went outside, picked up the chemical, and now it's kind of like we're going to do this deal without my cousin because my cousin already ran away with some of the money. Mixes the chemical and puts it under the bed. He puts the chemical under the bed, and then he told me, you know, they have to clean this room. Let us step outside so that they can clean the room. I stepped outside the baby and we went to look for some breakfast. I remember very well, we went right outside and there was a Kibadaski. That is where we went, and the street one where they sell tea, mandazi and all that. We went there, and he was always trying to be away from me because he has some calls. He has to connect with my cousin, but all this time, all I know is that he is not talking to him because my cousin conned us, but they are both in this. When we went back, my friend, the chemical was not there anymore. They already had, he said the cleaner cleaned the basin without knowing it was an important chemical. So we are doomed the third time. All my money is gone now. Remember, I asked people for money. Now I owe them, and all this now is dawning to me, and it is now starting to look real. My cousin cannot answer me. I even went back to Nyeri. I looked for him where I knew he was living. I went to ask the wife if he knows his whereabouts, and why the wife didn't know. I was doomed. I was now at a corner, at a very big trench that I couldn't get myself out. I owe people. I asked this money in my name. What do I do? What will I do? How will I even face these people? These people are people who respect me, but they will never ever again respect me because the deadlines are here. I don't have their money. What do? I started selling everything, auctioning my gas, and these are for business. My gas. I also auction. I took my deep freezer. It was a very big deep freezer. I took it to an auctioneer or a Shylock so that they can give me some amount of money to try and settle this. Of which some of this money went with this my cousin and his friend. So I was left with debts. And I was left with debts that I cannot explain how I got there. I don't have a way of telling these people I was conned by their brother. So one day when I went back to Nyeri, and when I was in Nairobi, I think I gave out my son. I went and dropped my son somewhere. Is it to my friend? Or where did I drop my son? Because my son ended up with my cousin. And then I picked up my son later and went back to Nyeri. In Nyeri, there was a family meeting. Let me show you how a devil can embarrass you. God is good because he redeemed me later. But it is so bad to mess up someone's name because it is very hard to rebuild it. All my cousins were now calling me a thief, a con. Nobody would even listen to me. Let me tell you. If someone ever tell you they were conned, please listen to their story without judging them, because chances could be 100% they were conned. My cousins now don't want to hear me. They are calling me and I am blocking them. I am turning my phone off because I don't want anybody to call me and get hold of me. It was only my sisters who understood me. Now that part becomes emotional. Otherwise, I was in a very bad state. That cousin of mine, he put me and he left me in a very bad shape. Very bad shape, and he destroyed my reputation like completely. So, they would call me, everybody I owed would call me, and I am off. And every time, I remember one time I was walking along a Kere Road in Nyeri, and one of my cousins calls me. And remember, they are calling me to abuse me. They are using very strong words. They are calling me thief, con. You are not even going to America. You are just trying to con people their money. I don't know what. Even if you are going to America, that is your own business. Why would you use our money? You know. And I'm at that point whereby I'm not able to explain. So, let me take you a little bit back. They called a family meeting. My mother was summoned. I didn't know all this. My mother was summoned. My cousins came, all my cousins came, and they held a meeting in my house that I didn't even know about. I just saw people coming to my house one by one. This is after I came from Nairobi. And in Nairobi, I was suicidal for the first time. Because I sat myself down and I was like, wow, this is me. My name is destroyed. I owe people. My business is gone. I have sold everything that I could have even used to gather money to go to America. So this becomes so emotional. So people came to my house to hold a meeting against me, and I was supposed to explain how all these things happened. They even called the cousin to come so that we can face them and tell them why we would con them. Now we are the cons, me included, but the big con is my cousin. They knew the job he was doing. They knew the work he was doing. They knew he was conning people all along, but they never shared it with people. Family things, you know. But I would like to say this at this point. If you know your brother cons people, let people know. Stop hiding it, because it can only do a bigger mess. A thief is a thief. A con is a con. And my cousin came. He was so bold to come. Imagine they don't have they got a lot of guts. He came and then he started saying, you know how they behave. I also didn't know this is what's going on. The friend is who conned us. And I'm like, You said you know him, and this is someone that has been your friend for long. And then the sisters were like, shut up. We know what you do. We know that is what you do. So stop kind of like trying to blind us here. We know that is what you do. We know you even make yourself a pastor and pray for people. And as you pray for them, you take their everything and run away. You even ask them for money, to pray for the money to multiply. My friend, the things that I heard that day turned my ears into deaf ears. I was like, wow, they know all this, and they are kind of like harassing me, tormenting me. I have to pay them. We need our money. We need our money. If you don't have money, you can give me the K gas that you are using. I can have it until you get to pay my money. I owed them each 5,000 Kenya shillings. Today, that is less than $40. That is like $40. I really went through hell. They really harassed me. Even though they knew their brother was a con, and they knew for sure I was conned, they still came after me for the money. I made sure I paid them all that money before I left Kenya. And did I forgive my cousin? I did forgive him, because the money he screwed from me is no longer that much anymore. But it took me through hell. I was pregnant, for God's sake. I cried, I felt suicidal and everything. I felt like a fool. I would not wish anyone to meet with a con man, because they are very, very unsympathetic. They are like murderers. They don't care where you end up. They just want to scam you money. That guy, up to date, I did forgive him. But to be honest with you, I cannot interact with him. Never ever, because I don't know what else he is capable of doing. Never. If I ever go to heaven and I see him, I will know for sure I'm in hell. Because not just me, but he did that to so many other people. And the fact remains, he is very inhuman. If he can bring another person, a stranger, to come and scam me, and I am his own sister. That was unheard of. That was very unkind. That was something that made me believe that fear your own people the same way you could fear strangers. Fear them. In fact, every single day, spare 30 minutes to fear your own people, to fear your relatives. They don't care. And you cannot be able to tell who is who until they do something that will leave you regretting all the days of your life. This thing made me to suffer so much when I was trying to seek help to get money to come here when I mean through green card. People would not believe me. Why? They did not even contribute a dime. All my cousins, they turned their backs against me. We only started talking with them after I settled in America. God is good, because before I left Nairobi, I paid all of them each their 5,000 Kenya shillings. But each 5,000 Kenya shillings, it is only my uncle who never called me or harassed me. This is husband to my auntie. He never called me or harassed me. But the cousins, they really tormented me. They tormented me. And I was in a place where I was a victim, but I appeared as the one who is the devil. I wore the clothes of a devil, yet I was a victim, and I was in a very bad shape, and I was in a very bad situation. My business was gone. I had to revive my business. I don't have money to do that. My freezer is gone. All my stuff in the business, I had sold them, and others I would go take to someone, tell them give me like 3,000 so that we can put into the deal. Jimmy, wherever you are, if you still do this to people, please repent. Repent and turn around and become a better person. Life is very short to take people through hell, because nobody gonna get out of this world with anything, including the money that you value so much. And I would also want to talk to people or victims of conmen. Learn the first time. Do not go ever listen again to someone who is giving you stories, especially anywhere the money is involved, or the money is supposed to multiply, or they have money in the bank that they want to redeem. Please do not listen to that type of a narrative. Number 3, I'll repeat this: fear relatives. Number 4, never ever have money excitement, no matter how much struggle you are going through. Please always use your brain correctly without money excitement. That way you'll be able to judge what is wrong and what is right. Number 5, always work for your money. Do not even get excited about money that is coming in without you having to work. In order to get money, you gotta work, or you gotta use your money to work for you, okay? So I learned the hard way, but I thank God. Today I was conned the first time and the last time. Never again can I get conned. Never again can I even get myself to listen to a conman, because I can see them from a distance. All right, guys, I hope you learned something through this story. And see me when you see you. Do not forget to keep on keeping on, because we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Bye.